chair of the Canterbury Regional Council, or ECan. So I'm part of the West constituency, which goes from the Port Hills right up to the river. Takes in 4 of the city council wards. We've got Hawesville ward, the Hornby ward with Mark Peters, we've got the Waimari ward, which is here, and then we've got the Hugh ward, which is Aaron's. It's been a really unusual election, to be fair, because 3 of the council wars in the 4 council boundaries that we as ECan have, or that I have in my ECan electorate, are elected unopposed. So you guys have kind of made it a little bit interesting when it comes to the election. But it's been good, and it's the ECan, you would have seen a lot of media about what's going on. Government wants to get rid of us, we've got all sorts of issues. It's, to be quite fair, regulating the environment is a very tricky space. It's not easy, and you can't please anybody necessarily, depending on which way government legislation and government policy pulls us and pushes us. So the next term of council, we will have a come to Jesus moment, I believe, in the Resource Management Act reforms that are about to drop. So those, from what I've heard, will drop within probably the 2nd week of November. And as a regional government, with the interests of Christchurch and Canterbury, the wider Canterbury, we're going to have to really hit the ground running. So that's why I've been sort of saying, I hopefully can have your vote, because we do need to hit the ground running and start working with the partnerships that we've got with our industry, with our communities, but making sure that the government knows that Canterbury isn't just going to be walked over, because if we don't fight back on what we want and what we want to see in Canterbury, working with our city council, our friends in the community boards and right across, there's going to be some unintended consequences, and I don't want to see that for our region. So that's in the resource management space. I could talk all night about that. The big part that we have, I'm not going to, I've just finished, but the big part that we, from a city point of view, that we work with is public transport. So we run the public transport service, and then the infrastructure for the public transport is operated by the city council. We've got moves in play to start thinking about how we align the public transport service delivery with also the infrastructure delivery, so that we can start thinking about how we get the public transport much better. We're starting to get into the right direction, but we've got some constraints around funding. But I'm really looking forward to getting in, hitting the ground running with Phil and with Aaron and the community boards, especially to engage with the communities here, so we can start getting better public transport access. Because there's a lot of communities in the west of Christchurch that have grown quite exponentially from down in Hallsville right up into Belfast, Yoldhurst, and I'd be remiss if I didn't say Yoldhurst. They want public transport services, but we do not have the funding to do that at the moment, so lots of work to do. If you've got any specific questions about what ECan does, what we can do in delivery and how we can help you, you're welcome to ask me afterwards, but it's really good to meet you, and thank you very much for the opportunity, Aaron. And I'll pass it over to His Worship, the Mayor of Christchurch.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome.